Guys, welcome back to the 5th episode of the Two Brits, One Yank podcast. Now today, before I introduce the boys, today we have got a Q&A episode. We was due to have a guest in, but due to his work restrictions and stuff, he wasn't able to.
And being an FA Cup hero, you know,
well, yeah,
he's a wanted man. He's in demand.
Yeah,
we tried to get an hour with him, but after his heroics,
too tight.
We had to talk to his PA, his agent, and we just couldn't get our schedules to align. So
there we go. Now, but before we get into the episode, this is my fellow Brit.
So Wanjau-Smith.
This is the Yank.
Why are you saying it like
because
that?
we've done about 3 takes, and he wants me to introduce him as the Yank.
Well, Brit, you just said this is my fellow Brit. Soul, and then you just poured at me.
And
you have to differentiate.
I'm confused.
Bro.
Look, he's wearing an England
Well,
top.
it's Conor Kelly
today.
It's the American Brit Conor Kelly.
He's wearing an England shirt, but is also willing to wear a Wales shirt. It doesn't sit right with me.
Listen. I've explained this before off camera, so I'm gonna explain it on camera. I collect shirts. It's rare to find I don't think I've ever seen a Wales top in the U.S. I saw it with Bale on the back, $60 brand new. I said,
he's got no concept of money. That's a lot of money to spend on a rubbish shirt.
Exactly.
For a classic, come on.
And a horrible shirt.
It's the Euro 2016 when they made the semi-final for $60.
All I'm saying is, if I would, you would not catch me wearing an American jersey.
Oh, you called it jersey.
Damn.
What's next? An American soccer jersey? Like, come on.
Disrespecting myself.
Wow. To be fair, they do have some belters. The old retro kits from the US. Actually, their new kits have come out this week. Quite nice.
Sorry, when? Anyway.
Facts. That's the first sorry when on the podcast.
And it's going to be the last because I'm not a fan of those.
But I've got to say, that is Sam's first time introducing the pod. You were very nervous, weren't you?
I was nervous, yeah. Well, we did it 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, and messed it up. And ever since then, I've just had PTSD.
Absolutely crumbled.
He's so nervous, his nips are showing through the t-shirt.
We will cut that out.
What, your nips or?
I actually saw it this morning in the mirror. I went, I hope that doesn't come up on camera.
Having like a wet t-shirt contest.
It's cold in here. Let me just say it is cold in here.
He's just nervous. That's all it is.
No, look, before we go into it, obviously we put on the socials yesterday about the Q&A, asked for your guys' questions, and some of them are actually really good. So we're actually really excited to go into it, and delve into it.
I've got to say, we've got so many more than we probably expected.
Yeah, literally.
We're actually not going to be able to physically have time.
40, 50 questions, I'd say.
There's absolutely loads. And another thing about the set, normally I'm just joined by 2 mugs.
Bro wanted to get that in. Damn, bro wanted to get that in.
But now,
so corny.
But now I'm joined with 3 more in front of me. If you can see, we grab them. Shout out to Ben Topham for providing this.
I would have a sip of mine, but because we've been trying to do the takes for so long, I've got no coffee left in here. In fact, Tops, can you just go and get me one? Actually, the coffee's in the bag there.
Ring his bell or something. Little one of these.
That's crazy.
But thank you, Ben, for getting the mugs for us. It's about time you did something that was useful. I'm
so paranoid now. Sorry with my nips hanging out and stuff. I'm so paranoid.
You're going to put a jumper on. You might have to.
Nah, I've got me coat, but...
Nah, you want to wear this Hadji Wright top?
Yeah, literally.
I think it's a perfect time to go on to Mr. Hadji Wright.
Yeah, I mean... The Coventry boys this weekend, they've made some history,
So buzzing, boys.
So excited for them, honestly.
So buzzing.
I feel like I've really looked out for the results of every team we've played. Like, Ipswich have been doing so well. Been looking at Barrow and Stevenage. But especially Coventry to go in the FA Cup semi-final.
And it makes our run even better as well.
Of course.
That the team that knocked us out are in the semi-finals.
And there's no United fans here. Let's hope they beat them and play for the whole thing.
I'm absolutely gutted, though, that we can't go and watch the game because... If it was on a Sunday, I think we're playing Hampton and Richmond on the last day of the season.
Yeah.
The last day of the regular season, as you like to call it.
Exactly. Let's hope we make playoffs.
We unfortunately can't go to watch Binksy and the boys play at Wembley. So we'll be cheering them on. We'll be checking for updates.
Facts.
And hopefully they can make it through to the final.
Speaking of Binksy, by the way, there have been a few questions we weren't allowed to answer, but the boy did come in with a great question.
Yeah, which we will answer without revealing the question.
Exactly.
All I want to say is...
We had a good debate about this yesterday
I'm a back soul. It did get a bit heated. We had a little FaceTime, and the boys were
trying to justify things that have happened ages
Binksy,
ago.
all I'm saying is, if they came on here and said it was either of these two, then I would have called them out straight away because they'd be lying. And I think you can tell by their reactions. They know.
Binksy, don't listen to him. In fact, we'll tell you off camera what's been happening.
Answered it. Who did you say?
I will say it's probably Saul.
There you go. I'm not going to say it's not me. And then this brother...
With me in a
Damn.
close second.
Yeah. Do you want to fight on the podcast while we're recording? By the way, guys, this is the morning after our semi-final last night, where we beat Dartford for the fourth time.
Ooh, fourth time this season.
Yeah, fourth time this season to get to the Kent Senior Cup final, which I'm looking to do 2 times.
What, to get to the final?
No, bro,
No, to win.
Damn. Yeah, I was going to say, to win that twice now, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Beat Gav in the final when I was at Charlton. Gav Hoyt, that is, for anyone that doesn't know. He's
When
our
you're
captain.
a very skinny, 85 plus kg, 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the American viewers, by the way, it's about 180 pounds. But someone was
I
underdeveloped.
hope you haven't
180 pounds.
exaggerated that there, because I don't understand how the weight works in America.
Nah,
We know you don't, bro.
So 1 kilo
we don't
is
care.
2.2
Here we
don't care about
go.
this.
Will you give
Anyway,
over?
No
we don't care
wonder
about this.
you don't know because you're not willing to
Anyway,
learn.
Because
Nobody
you will
cares
spend
about
about 5 minutes on that topic,
So
and I'll be
basically,
falling asleep.
So when I was at Duke,
When I was in the under 14 camp with the US national team.
The U14.
shout out to Daniel Wright. I've told him how you always brought it up. That
The
I,
U14 and the U17. That's all I ever hear
Yeah.
from this boy. Honestly. That's all
So
I
actually, he
ever
had a
hear.
great career in Denmark before he came over.
Honestly, like just waffling on. But I suppose that's it. No, is there anything else that we need to touch upon in the intro? Anything that's happened this week?
No.
Connor, you get the boot off, didn't you, on Saturday?
Fingers crossed on Saturday. I'm able to walk around without
They'll be
it
able
a
to
bit
help out a little bit more.
around the flat.
Goals.
Yeah.
So obviously we asked for lots of questions for the Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said earlier, we've got loads. And quite a few did revolve around our injuries, as
Mm-hmm.
all 3 of us are currently out injured. We are under strict instructions that we're not allowed to reveal timelines, dates, and all that jazz.
Which
Just
makes
because
sense.
we can't be specific.
Of course.
Just because we don't want people putting the gaffer under pressure, saying Sol, Boney, and Connor said they'll be back for this date. Why are you not playing them? And also, it's a bit unfair on us because if we have little setbacks, which do happen all the time with injuries, that we're not putting ourselves under loads of pressure. I think you might have just seen the fly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that fly just nearly went into my head.
And I do want to point out, some of us haven't been great about that in the past.
I did get
Mr.
in,
Sol Wanjau-Smith.
I did get in a lot of trouble because
What'd you do?
I always say Craig Tucker, who is the
that
Ken
interview.
Online.
Ooh,
I always speak to him. He helped me get a blue tick on Insta, so I said, "Listen, whenever you want, you need to go talk to him."
I
more."
know, I need one more article. He's already written one about me being out injured. Do you want to just update everyone on my progress or something?
But it was at Slough away. I was in the boot, and he was saying, "Oh, do you reckon you'll be fit for Ipswich?" And I said, "Oh, it doesn't look like it. You know, obviously I'm in a boot. Hopefully the boys can get through it." Lench, actually, the centre mid from Slough, as I said that, went past, and he started absolutely wetting himself, saying, "You boys have no chance." And then, hey,
Really?
we managed to get through and get to Coventry. But I also said in that interview that I was probably missing the Yeovil game, which is the week after. And I
Oh,
got
of course, yeah.
hammered. I got hammered by Gaffer and Craig. But I was telling the truth, and I think I did miss
And
it.
he claims that he's one of the smartest in the team with doing that.
I am one of the smartest. in the
Brain
team.
dead.
I mean, yeah, he is. I don't know.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know how much that's saying, bro. Like realistically.
I am one of the smartest in the team. It's
yeah,
a fact.
academically, yeah, but in terms of being switched on, we argue about this all the time. You're very low. in
What
the
about
team.
being able to control your temper?
I've been reading The Chimp Paradox for anyone that's actually helped
What
me.
about when you answered the phone this morning? You're
Yeah.
like, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in traffic." And
No, I
you
didn't
just-
say that. You lie. No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that.
Sorry,
no, I didn't say.
Ben,
No, I
Ben
didn't
answered
say
it,
that.
and he even started shouting abuse at Ben over the phone.
No,
Did
it's
you-
because he started laughing at me. You know what he does when he's looking at the thing and he plans it onto you. And I said, "What's this brother laughing at? Is there something wrong with my appearance or something? Just because
He's
just
too
'cause I've been waking
self-conscious.
up at 7 a.m. in the morning to do my morning miracle. I might have had a few bags under my eyes. That's probably why he started laughing.
He'd only had 6 coffees by then.
All right, enough of this.
Yeah, sorry.
It's probably time to go towards the Q&A, isn't it, boys?
Absolutely.
So how this is going to work? We've got all the questions written down on Ben's phone. We're just going to go through them. We'll call you out if we've managed to select you. Obviously, like we said, there's loads. So yeah, we'll just
the
get
lucky
into
ones
it.
to be selected.
Let's get into it.
So our first question comes from someone very close to our hearts.
Who's that?
Philip.
Philip. God.
Yeah, so
What a
Philip
guy.
is a goalkeeper. He's always training with us.
Yeah.
Just great to have around the place.
Yeah.
Young 18-year-old kid, and yeah, he's the best. So this is from Philip_PHN. If you lot could amend a decision you made in your careers, what would it be?
You lot.
I mean,
Go on,
listen, he
If I
did say
could-
you lot.
If I could amend a decision.
Now he's thinking. This is when he gets in his little
This is when
Was it philosopher? And he starts
Here,
sitting
you know
like
what?
this.
I'll go first because I don't have to think about mine. I honestly, my career, as we've mentioned on my episode, has been all over the place. But I don't think I would actually change much of it. Obviously, there are decisions that, or things that have happened to me that have maybe held me back at times in my career. But if you don't go through those, little valleys, you might not reach the same peaks that you had. And I've really enjoyed my career, and I think I've learned so much about myself as a person and a player throughout my career. So while it might be a bit cliche, I actually don't know if I'd change anything because I don't know if I'd be where I'm at if that was the case.
And to be honest, I'm exactly the same. I think you mentioned it last time, Bone,
Yeah.
that through adversity is where you kind of find out the most about yourself and where you come out stronger if you manage to get through it. So I think, like I said in my episode, I always wanted to play for opportunity, didn't want to chase money. And that's kind of stood me in good stead. And that's why I'm at the level I am now. And hopefully I can just continue to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. Like you said there, you learn the most when you go through adversity. So I don't have any regrets. And I always say that I'd never have any regrets in my football career. But I suppose if I was in hindsight, maybe when I was at Shamrock Rovers, maybe live a little bit better. Like I wasn't living right. I was eating bad foods and stuff. So if I could go back and change that, I'd probably live better and recover better to give myself a better chance. And that way, then I probably wouldn't get the little niggles that I had. But in terms, like I wouldn't change anything. Like I'm happy where I am now, and that the path that I've had sort of led me to that.
Again, you could always look back though and say, oh yeah, if I did that better at Shamrock Rovers, who knows? Maybe you would have gone on to have a far different career.
Exactly.
You might not have come back to Maidstone.
Exactly.
And played in the 5th round for your hometown club.
Exactly. And like not living right because I got the little injuries. I knew then, right, well, if I don't want the little injuries, I've got to live right. So you essentially, you learn from everything, So that's, I wouldn't have any regrets or anything, just about learning from the mistakes that you've made.
So our next question is from Adevale, 1747. Do you think the cup run has ever steered our focus away from the league a bit?
I'm thinking again. No, I don't. You have to be professional in it. Now, obviously, if you look back at the results prior to our games in the cup, I think before Ipswich we got beat to Slough. Before Coventry we got beat to Averley. It might come across as that way, but like we're professionals. Like we've got a job to do in the league. Like it's so tight at the moment, the league. I think that was always our aim going into those games. You want to win every game, so it's not like we're going into it going, well, actually, I might try and save myself for the game next week. I certainly didn't have that mentality, and I'd like to think that the players didn't have that mentality either.
I think so to an extent that what you're saying is right, but I think every player you were always, as soon as we got the draw, you were looking ahead to see, in a month's time we're playing them. Like you're always looking forward to it, and then when it's a week before, I think maybe subconsciously you are saying, right, make sure I get through this game. Obviously, you're gonna give my all because you can't not give your all in a game, and you want to win that every single game and every single moment you step on the pitch. It could be your last, you never know. So it's really important that you still give your all. But there is always that little bit of doubt in the back of your mind where you are thinking ahead. But I think it's just human nature when it's such a big game.
Listen, I think the poor results followed by those unbelievable results could have just been purely coincidental. I don't think those are the reasons that we lost those games. But yeah, it is quite different. When after a match, like, oh my God, after we play Braintree, for instance, we have Coventry this weekend. You know that going into the Braintree match, everyone's human, and I think maybe you could feel that the FA Cup run was coming. They knew it was coming, but again, that doesn't purely mean that the results were poor just because of that.
No, I agree.
I think it's just human nature. And I don't think it's because our mentalities are worse. That happens at the highest levels. When teams are in the Champions League, they have the second leg of a semifinal. They're thinking about that when they play on Saturday.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's just how it goes.
So 2004.Ellis has asked, what is your favourite goal you've ever scored?
I think I know yours.
Yeah, so I have two. I would say my first professional goal against Chippenham.
Deflection.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was a deflection.
I didn't hear that, sorry.
But, I had torn ankle ligaments, and I did it with that same foot.
Hang on, listen closely. I can hear the
Facts, yeah.
violins. I can hear the violin.
There's no
Oh
violins
my
in that.
God.
That's just,
No,
you
I'm
know, I
joking,
thought
I'm
that made it
joking.
cooler.
Can you remember how happy you was when you were running to the fans after that goal?
It honestly was such an unbelievable moment because I had a right-footed shot and I think it got deflected into the keeper saving it. When I hit it, I was like, that's going to be a goal.
Came back out on the rebound.
Came back out and I didn't even like think about it. And I just hit it with my left foot. I remember when I hit it, it hurt so badly.
Really?
The pain was instantly gone once I hit the back of the net. So I'd say that. Or I had a tap in for a hat trick for my first hat trick in years in university. And it was like, I scored probably the best goal of my career like 30 seconds before. And it was next time we won the ball, I had a hat trick and came straight off after that. So
it wasn't your free kick in front of your family?
No, that
I
was
thought
great, but we didn't win that match.
Oh, okay.
I like that. Not selfish.
You know, it made it 1-0. Yeah, if we had won, that would be my favorite. But I think that third one was like, I was on such a high just scoring a really nice goal before, and then to have a tap in afterwards, I was like, I couldn't, like, the elation that I felt within me was crazy.
Boney?
I'd have to say that for Waterford against Derry, I think I've shown you boys it. I think Bicep showed you actually in the snooker club, the local.
What a goal that was.
Yeah, that was
The shin into the top corner.
that was one of my best goals because I'd say the majority of my goals have actually been deflections.
Maidstone, they have, haven't
yeah, exactly. But that was my favourite goal because prior to that, in the off season, because it was against Derry, I actually went to Derry and was due to sign there, and had a medical, everything. And they gave it that one at the end. Oh yeah, just come over next week and we'll get it all announced and stuff. And then never heard anything from them, you know.
Wow.
So I sort of went out there with a point to prove. Scored the goal to make it 1-0, and I remember running over to Alan Reynolds, who is such a great guy. He was a manager at the time. Like went over and proper blagged it, like gave him a hug and everything. So that was and then we went on to win the game 2-1. So that would probably be my best goal, and it was it went to the top corner as well.
For me, I quite like my Penenka against Barnet.
Damn, yeah, that was cold.
Quite a little nice
That was
one.
cold.
But actually, the similar game to you. Well, to be fair, the Stenning hat trick, the third goal.
Yeah.
Because just like, oh my god, I've scored a hat trick. But also the Chippenham game, I also scored, and that's I think it's the only goal my family have seen me score for Maidstone.
Yeah, and
Nice.
I think leading up to that game, you were kind of falling out the side a bit as well. So it was really, I think, was that your first start in a few games?
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
And then that was actually the game before Stenning, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it was because
Yeah.
I got rested because my ankle blew up after that. So
Yeah,
I
so
got
that's
rested.
probably one of my favourite goals. Definitely my favourite goal I've scored this season, or that and the Stenning one.
Yeah, and that was a great finish as well.
Wasn't too bad.
Next question. The next question is from the Maidstone United Supporters Club in Vietnam.
Oh,
I don't really. It says, "How did you guys become best mates?"
best mates is a loose term.
I was gonna say these boys drive me crazy. I meet them on a
Well,
Wednesday morning.
Just
to
nearly
record this
teammates and
podcast.
co-hosts.
I'm about to expose
Yes.
something actually. You might not think this, but I was actually the glue keeping these two together yesterday because they were having a little bit of an argument. And normally it's me and Boney going at it. Connor goes to me. Well, they're having a bit of an argument. Connor comes up to me in the gym and says, "Do you think it's going to affect our chemistry on camera tomorrow?"
He was panicking, bless him.
Oh, we were talking about emotional control earlier. This guy goes, "You're lucky I don't hit you right now." Made one tiny joke. Talk about being able to give
It was a
and not take
number
it.
of tiny jokes that just started to annoy me. And when you spend time with, we spend a good amount of time together now, don't we?
Too much.
Probably
So
every
much.
day, even in obviously training and stuff. We see each other. Well, I see you more than I see my family. So as you can imagine, when you're together all the time, arguments do happen.
And it's like brothers, isn't it? Just,
Yeah, it's not we were. Well, I don't know about him, but he was saying, "I hope it doesn't affect our chemistry."
Well-
I was fine after. I just had to tell him,
I'm just glad I didn't have to slap you up.
"Keep annoying me." I told him, I said, "Keep annoying me. I'm gonna slap you," and his face dropped. And I said, "Yeah, I put fear into that, brother."
Do you think you would actually hit me?
Yeah.
Saying-
Honestly.
Listen, if the Beatles could break up, so could the two Brits, one Yank. So I was a bit nervous, but no, we've squashed it.
Listen, I'm looking for my solo career already. If I'm looking to branch out, I'm just using you boys for a bit of investment. That's all. They can take 66% of the money being invested, and hey,
You can do the BBC interview with Ella Kobe. That'll be you now.
How did we become? I think me and you just sort of gravitated towards each other straight away.
Yeah.
Sol saw me walk into training, and he said, "Yeah, I want to be friends with this guy."
no.
Yes, you did.
Let me explain.
Because I had a DM a few days after my first training with Maidstone, and it was from Sol. He said, "Do you want me to pick you up tomorrow, bro?"
Listen,
So
I'm
that
actually just
speaks
a
for
nice person.
itself.
This is how I treat trialists at the club. I'm a really nice guy. Sam's on trial. I've gone past him in my car, but I didn't really clock it was him. And then
Why are you lying?
a few days later, I was asking him, I said, how far do you walk in? He's like, it takes about 45 minutes.
It does.
I'm
yeah.
saying, bro,
Damn.
I'll just come pick you up. I can pick you up on the way. It's literally 2 minutes out of my way. And then all of a sudden now he thinks I want to be best friends with him. Now I'm just his taxi service.
I was gonna say worst mistake you ever made
Yeah.
because
Brother-
if Saul's busy, we're not hanging out.
Brother always wants to chill with me, like always.
I can't chill with
Before this
hotheads.
podcast, I had to tell him sometimes. I said, "Look, bro, I said I can't chill with you tonight.
I can't
said, I'm
chill
just
with
on
hotheads."
break. I'm on break.
No, but-
I'm gonna relax."
In all seriousness, because there's a few of us that have moved away from home, like Connor, Lucas, myself, and obviously Boney's local and doesn't drive, we kind of just all gravitate towards each other because why wouldn't you want to spend some time with your mates and
Yeah,
stuff?
of
And we all get on
course.
so well.
We do get on
that
well.
we go to coffee club, we hang out on the weekends and stuff. We sometimes go to watch Ben Topham attempt to play football on a Sunday, for Coxheath.
We'll watch him in his London half marathon as well in a few
Yeah,
weeks.
we're trying to get down to that. So we just all hang out, and I think naturally
It's
when you're with
yeah.
each other so much, you're just gonna become friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, next question. Well, this is actually one that's for me from Football Scout 1. One for Connor. What's the difference between football in England and football in America? So I guess football in England is quite broad because obviously we play a quite different standard and style to the Premier League, for instance. But I would say comparing National South to uni football is National South football is far more in the air, far more about winning. It's a different type of physical. The physicality in the US, I would say, is more running and speed, and this is pure strength and brute force. I would say, honestly, if before coming over here, I would have said that the American style was kind of more suited to me, but I think coming over with that style has actually made me a bit more unique over here. While I definitely had to get better in the air, and there were a fair few times that I did not win headers that I should have won. I do think it's really helped me evolve my game, and I'm doing my best to take aspects from both.
Good, very good.
Very well answered.
Yeah, I haven't played in the US, so
I've watched a lot of it, and I know that it is very different to us.
I have
Very,
had
very
friends though that have said that they're like the wingers and all. They're so sharp, so strong. Because like Ali Coote actually, who's gone to play for the same team as Matt Sheldon, Detroit.
Yeah.
He's gone there. Lee Desmond that I play with at St. Pat's, I was actually chatting to him. He said that it's just like everyone's so strong, so powerful, so sharp. The wingers and all,
And again, one thing we've talked about is
very direct. Sorry.
the focus on channel balls over here is like if you're in doubt, just put it into a good area.
Yeah.
Which is so effective. I've come to see how effective that is. Versus me, last year I was trying to play out anything, and you can't really do that.
Yeah.
over
It's
here.
like I
You gotta
mentioned,
pick and choose.
like I mentioned in the in your podcast, watching the NCAA highlights and centre halves are losing the ball in their box.
Yeah,
and
I remember you saying that.
there's so many goals in each game that are just
Yeah.
from just turnovers and just in horrible areas that would never happen in the Conference South.
Yeah, and real quick, just to end this question, I don't think there's a right and a wrong way. If you look at every country, they all have different styles, And for instance, Guardiola has really changed how the game is played at the highest level in England. So
like chess.
I think you always kind of have to be willing to adapt to whatever team you're on
100%.
and whatever league.
100%. Right, next question. It is from. By the way, if I butcher any of these usernames, I sincerely apologise.
You can
But
hardly
it's
read,
from
Breton.
Nailsy. Nailsy people have asked, does Connor have a stylist?
Now, I have to firstly say, Nelsy People is my nan.
Oh, really?
It's my nan. And
What
she runs like
username?
the local newspaper in Nelsy where I
Oh,
live.
no way.
She used to like be an editor of one of the big ones in the Southwest, and now she seems to hammer Connor every week.
Rightly so.
I don't know what I've done to Saul's family. His mom is coming at me for my hair, which my parents have also said might be time to change up the style.
But
So-
my mum, you lied about my mum because you said that he was like a nerd. But I think she didn't actually say that, and she was really upset with me, saying, "You painted me out to be horrible."
Maybe you said.
I probably said.
Yeah,
I probably
maybe
said
you
that,
said
to be
it.
honest.
So that and now your grandma's coming for me.
Yeah.
Nailsy people, listen.
I'll try and put a little bit of the message that my grandma sent because it was hilarious.
Nailsy people, I first off, your message made me absolutely die laughing. But yeah, just let the boy live. Come on. Come on.
I've been trying to tell him, Nana. I've been trying to tell him.
Hey, I'll have Saul pick my outfit, so I'll come in cargos and blue jumpers.
And that
every
blue
time.
jumper.
Yeah.
God, that blue
Actually,
jumper.
let's actually have a vote.
Sorry,
shoes.
wait there.
Let's actually have a
For
vote.
anyone that has watched the podcast, can you remember when I mentioned about he wears the same jumper for every single sort of night out when we go to lunch, etc., etc.? This is in fact the famous blue jumper.
And this is the first
that
time
he's
I've worn
whacked
it
out.
in 5 episodes. You've
Yeah,
worn
but
that,
outside, bro, I
You've
spent
worn that t-shirt that doesn't fit you for
That
the last 3.
That hasn't, because I only washed it the other day.
Yeah, that's why it smells.
Damn.
Hey, Boney, I'm not
Cold.
gonna lie. That
Look at his
wet
nipples.
that
You
wet
can't talk to
t-shirt
his
needs to be
nipples.
retired.
Damn.
You got to
Look
get
at
some
Sharp.
tape or something.
You know, that's
Don't
when
make
he
me
was
paranoid.
he bought that when he was 16 at Cheltenham when he was still underdeveloped. That's what.
Right, next question is from Joe Coomba, 96. He says, "What's your favourite film?"
Ooh.
I've got mine already.
I've got 2.
Do you want me to answer quick?
I'll go first.
or-
I've got 2.
Okay.
The Dark Knight, because I think Heath Ledger's performance in that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And then also Interstellar. And I don't really like sci-fi films and stuff, but something about that, like the soundtrack, everything just hooked me, and I love Interstellar.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? So it's funny. I know a bunch of people who love Interstellar. I watched it. So I just didn't do it
said
for
it's
me.
Is that
Yeah.
is that the
Matthew
space
McConaughey.
They went to
one in
space,
space?
yeah.
I actually haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I need
it's-
to watch
I,
that.
I watched Dune this weekend. It's just not my genre. So
Interesting.
you know.
But I've got to say that I can hardly sit for a film.
I was gonna say
my
yeah.
concentration's so
you
bad.
have to watch it in quarters.
Do you ever go
Yeah.
to the cinema, or you can't do it?
No, I can, but I just wouldn't choose to you know what? Unless it's like a big film that I'm looking forward to or something.
Yeah.
But I used to sometimes go to watch some like Endgame and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's a sick film. But it's just so long. It's just so long.
I love the cinema.
I would say mine is Forrest Gump. I think it really.
Gump?
Yeah, I
Love
think.
that.
Run,
Are you trying
Forrest,
to be
run.
so stereotypical?
What the hell's going on here?
Nah, it encompasses so many things that I like. I love history. I majored in history in college. There's so many historical events. It's a classic film.
Sorry, when?
Damn.
Enough of
No,
these
sorry,
boys,
go.
honestly.
Um,
No, I think that's probably my favorite.
I like it.
Mine is Hacksaw Ridge. Please tell me you've seen Hacksaw Ridge.
No.
I've watched it with you.
How good is it? Do you
Yeah,
remember when I
it's-
forced you to watch it
you,
with me?
You have a tattoo because of it.
I do. If anyone that's seen my tattoo, it's on Insta. It is basically it's a verse from the Bible, and this verse is actually read out at the start of the film. But it's based on a true story. Actually, I'm really annoyed at that. I should have done my research. But the guy, he went to Connor. You might be able to help me.
It's
out
his
with
favorite
this.
film, and he doesn't even know it.
It's a World War II film.
No, it's not a World War II film.
It's a
It
World
was
War
when
I.
they did the Japanese harbour. What's it called?
Hiroshima.
That's World War II, you donut.
Ooh,
I'm just
okay.
making stuff up. as well. I have no clue about
Pearl
this.
Harbor is why the U.S. got
Pearl
involved.
Harbor, right? Well, it's Pearl Harbor, and anyway, he refuses to bear arms.
Can I ask a
and
question? Whose favorite film is this? Yours or?
That's because I knew that he'd know. Because
That's
he's
why I
quite
had to
good
get a
at that things.
tattoo in case he forgot. He has to pull up his short and say, "Oh yeah, Hacksaw Ridge."
No, for anyone that's seen it, the film is incredible. It's about a guy who refused to sort of bear arms. He didn't want to carry a gun in battle, and obviously, if you're not carrying a gun in battle, like, are you crazy? Like, how are you going to defend yourself if they start shooting at you?
Now, Joe Coomba 96 has also asked, pick a 5-a-side team from the best players you've played with and against in your career.
Ooh,
That's a very good one. I think that a few boys could wipe the floor with me.
Oh,
in this
that is
one.
a
Yeah.
good one.
I think Boney will have the best.
Yeah.
Played with
Or against.
or against.
Are we going to include the FA Cup run, this run?
Oh, I completely forgot about the
my
FA
Yeah,
Cup run.
because
I forgot about that.
obviously
I completely forgot about the FA Cup run. That could actually change it.
All right, I'll go first to get us rolling.
Go on then.
So, goalkeeper, I'll give a shout out to my boy Elliot Hamill. He's an unbelievable university goalkeeper. He's the best goalkeeper in the country and decided to go to work. So he's working an office job in New York City instead of pursuing a professional career. But I'm going to have to give it to Lucas just because that brother will make me clean the apartment for the next week if I don't. So, Elliot, I'm sorry, but yeah.
That's if Lucas even watches this. He
He won't
probably
watch
doesn't.
this.
Yeah.
He won't watch
Okay,
this.
well, if Elliot doesn't, or if Lucas doesn't watch it, Elliot. And then center half, I'll go my boy Ian Murphy. Who's killing it for the best side in the MLS. Central midfield, I'll go Tyler Adams. Grew up playing against him,
Yeah,
so I'll
nice.
go
Pick that
Tyler
name up.
Adams.
Damn, that is pretty good.
I might just do an American 5-a-side. I'll do Brendan Aronson. And then up front, I know he's more of a winger these days, but I'll put Timothy Weah.
Not yourself.
That's good.
Yeah, make your own team. Interesting.
You know what? Those boys have played at a higher level than me, so who knows? Maybe one day I can.
Have they got the passion though in this little 3v3 game?
Do they have that
3v3
dog
game.
enough?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to go? Okay, I'll go.
Here we go. Charlton days. Here we go.
Right, in goal, I'd have Gavin Bazuna, who plays for Southampton now. I played with him at Shamrock Rovers. There's that fly again. Centre back, I will have Ezri Konsa, who's now at Aston Villa. Who else have we got in there? I'd put Ademola Lookman, who's at Atalanta now. Again, play with him at Charlton. Who else have we got? It's against as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you can play against.
Okay, right. Well, when I was at Shamrock Rovers, I played against AIK. Do you know Christopher Olsen? Go on, tell me. Tell me.
Is he Swedish?
Yes.
Yeah, I do know
Yes,
he is,
boys,
yeah.
he was a joke. He was incredible. Like, I think he got a move then to the Belgium. He actually played for the same team, flipping Anderlecht, with Vincent Kompany.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
In Belgium,
yeah. So he was just like, he was so good. I'd put him in there, and then that's one room for one more. With and against. Who have I got? I've got Gav, Addy, Ezri, Christopher Olsen. Who would be my striker? Just because he scored a hat-trick against us and scored twice the weekend. He's in the semi-finals of the
He
FA
scored
Cup.
a hat-trick against Rotherham as
He's
well.
played against. He's played for Everton and stuff. I'd say Josh Sims.
Well, that's unfortunate because Ellis Sims
Damn.
Ellis Sims will not get the message that he's in your team. You're gonna turn up with
Josh Sims.
Josh Sims played for Southampton.
I knew it.
you're gonna turn up with a 4-side team.
Well, let's hope he isn't watching this video.
You know what? I can almost assure you he's not. But
You never know. Binksy might actually give us the shout out.
Hey,
You know
Binksy,
what?
you got to clip that and give it to him because
Damn.
that is hilarious.
No, please don't. That is actually really bad.
That's definitely staying in as well.
Considering I said he's got a hat trick against that. That's what I mean. I tried to eliminate him from my memory.
Yeah.
I tried to forget about him. I'd put Ellis Sims there.
now,
Yeah.
and to be fair, I think we've kind of kickstarted a little run for him. He had a hat trick against Rotherham a few games after.
Yeah.
But he scored 2 at the weekend for Wolves.
Josh Sims, damn.
Yeah, he
Wow.
could have had a hat trick, but he bounced back from that early miss, and unbelievable. Now they're in the semi, and who knows? Maybe he'll bag some in the semi as well.
There we go. What about you, Sol?
I think I'm gonna have to copy you and go for the Brazilian Lucas Covolan in goal.
Lucas.
I think unbelievable keeper.
And him playing out from the back as well.
If it was down to housery, it definitely would be Luke Kearney though. Luke Kearney from Hungerford has the biggest housery that you will ever see in a keeper. He goes down about 10 times a game getting the physio on. If it was down to housery, Luke Kearney, you'd be in my side. In defence, I have to go for Alfie Jones, who currently plays for Hull City. Played at Southampton. He's also played for Gillingham. Alfie's had a really good career. He's won League One. He's only a year above. He's your year. And he's a local lad. He's actually Sam, who we know, my best friend.
Yeah.
That's his cousin. So
Oh, wow.
have to put Alfie in there. Then also Vince Harper, just for some legs in the team. He's now, as I mentioned, he's now at
Exeter, right?
Exeter City. We actually played together for Cribs at Step 5.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he was a striker, and now he plays left back in League One, which
Bloody
is
hell.
yeah,
Fair play
which
to
is
him.
absolutely mental. I'm gonna put my boy in there as well, Michael Petrasso,
Are you putting Petrasso in?
just for the vibes.
Yeah, I forgot
Petrasso.
about him.
The coolest guy in football, by the way.
Hey, Sol.
The
And then-
coolest guy in football.
Do you know what? I'm also gonna put in a Maidstone player. Actually, no.
Brother, really?
I'm gonna go for my boy Ryan Seeger.
I thought he was going to put me in. Damn.
No. The Maidstone. Guess the Maidstone player who I was gonna put in.
What position? Striker?
No, he's actually a defender, midfielder. Plays everywhere.
Damn.
But for the Petrasso link up.
Brother.
For the Petrasso link up. It's
Kips.
not you. Kips.
Tiffs.
Kips is one of the best small-sided players you'll ever.
He has that cultured left foot, doesn't he? A little
Honestly.
Mediterranean left foot.
Kips is some player.
Kips can be my gaffer. He can be my gaffer.
Kips is some player.
But Ryan Seeger's going to play up front. Ryan Seeger is the best finisher I've played with, I've ever seen.
What, do goals just go unnoticed then? You see when I score hat-tricks in the 5-a-side games?
Bro, when you have about 30,000 shots per small-sided game, and you score 2,
Don't
Two
shoot, you don't
deflected.
score.
exactly, 2 deflected,
Don't shoot,
1
you
own
don't
goal.
score.
Do you know what I mean?
I score
yeah.
more goals than Sol, who's a striker, by the way.
There is an issue that we have in small-sided. I don't even want to get into this. We play 3-touch. And hey,
Yeah.
actually no, if Craig and Gaffer see this,
Yeah, tell him to
we
do
don't
one.
really... thought you said them to do one.
No, Jesus.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, I was like, brother.
I was like, speak for yourself.
That's the hothead coming
Sorry,
out.
tell Sol to do one.
No, just
So we're clear.
3 touches is frustrating. Playing back to goal all the time in small sided. But
yeah.
hey, we're learning. Do you know what I mean? But no, Ryan Seeger, unbelievable.
Great finish. Very clinical, isn't he?
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
very clinical.
he probably wouldn't even mind me saying that he doesn't have the best all-round game. He's quite slow. He's small. But
God.
no.
Jesus.
But
Poor Ryan.
give that boy a yard and he scores.
Really?
And even look at the game he played against us.
Lovely guy as well.
He
Oh.
scored
Lovely
twice
guy.
against us. This
Scored
season.
twice, yeah.
Yeah.
He always scores against Maidstone. Scored a hat-trick for
Really?
for Hungerford.
Really?
He scored at the Gallagher. He always scores.
Wow.
So definitely Ryan Seeger.
There's some good five-side teams there. I wonder whose would win. Yours has got a good shot.
My team's pretty good.
Yours is clinical. Ryan Seeger there scoring all the
It de-
goals.
it
That'd be
depends-
some little tournament that would.
Yeah,
It
On a
depends on
Friday.
my boy Ian, because sometimes in 5-a-side, he knew he was starting the next day. He was saving his legs. So
Really?
it depends if he wants to hold down the back for me or not.
Who would be your... If you had to choose a manager to be the manager of the team that's not us, who would it be?
Easily, George Ellicotti.
I was going to say Gaffer, yeah.
Maybe
George
Gaffer.
Ellicotti, just for the
Gaffer would not
vibes.
take any stick
Well,
from
I-
Ian. If
I
Ian's
was going to
walking
say,
around...
if Ian was messing around, Ian, sub.
Yeah.
You have Gaffer throwing himself about.
Ian
Gaffer
is-
would go in. Like,
Ian
Gaffer
is-
could actually make
in
it.
the team.
How haven't we... Craig as well with that technique of his.
Craig is unbelievable in small sided as well when he gets
Oh,
involved.
actually. Yeah,
If
that's
Ian
a
was
good shout.
disrespecting my environment,
Yeah.
Yeah, you
then
see,
he'd be dragged straight off.
Thanks. Right.
next question.
Next question. This one is from FinnWilson.11. He's put, what's the highest point and lowest point in your careers?
Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll say the highest point, even though I wasn't involved too much, would be the FA Cup run.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Ipswich match. That was probably the best day of my career. I really enjoyed it, and obviously it was so frustrating not being able to play. But you know, at the end of the day, football is a team sport,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, anytime your team makes the 5th round of the FA Cup, I think that has to be it. You know, especially at our level. I would say the lowest point is also probably this season dealing with the ankle injury. And it's been really tough mentally because, you know, I was going through it. You know, I rehabbed for 12 weeks. It kind of seemed like that would be the answer, but it didn't get much better. And then having to go for the operation. But, you know, I know once I come back from this, it'll make my first goal when I come back, for instance.
Even sweeter.
That might be the new high point of my career. And, you know, little blips happen, and it's about just staying level-headed the entire way.
100%.
I think similarly, the best moment of my career, probably the best moment of my life, is the Ipswich game.
Yeah.
Like you, even though I wasn't involved, just like you said, team sport. It was the whole day was unbelievable. Even the night before, it was like the whole experience of that was absolutely crazy. And I think that very similar to you, this injury that I now have, because I then missed the Coventry game as well. And obviously, you don't have the highs of winning the game, but it's also, it was just selfishly, I wanted to be out there and at least have an opportunity to play in the 5th round. And all my family were there and everything. That was probably mentally the toughest day of my career so far, I'd say. And like, I know I'm probably gonna have a tougher day in the future. And at that point, it feels like this is the worst day.
Yeah,
Nothing
of
could ever get
course.
worse. Where it's about almost grounding yourself and getting back.
Football's
saying-
ups and downs,
Exactly.
isn't it? It's ups and downs. For me, my highest point would probably be, well, yeah, Ipswich. I don't think nothing more needs
Yeah, I
to be
think
said
for-
about
for
it. I
you,
think
it's
for
pretty
everyone,
easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
obviously family and stuff being there, that was pretty special. Lowest point, I'd probably say, and I actually had a good think about this one last night because I've had injuries and stuff, but when I was at Dundalk, the year prior to that, I think I touched upon it in my own episode, they were like 6th. And towards the back end of the season, we were like sort of like within touching distance of Shamrock Rovers. We'd beaten Bohemians the week before 1-0. And if we'd beaten Shamrock Rovers at their place, like we'd be like 2 points behind them, like with like 6 or 7 games left. And we had the lower teams in our league, we had them in the running. And I remember putting so much pressure on myself for that game, going, right, I need to do well. And I went into the game and had a nightmare of a game, lost 3-0. And that was just really mentally, just like really tough. Even to the point that, I don't even mind saying this, but I was actually in Starbucks the following day, just chilling there with the ex-partner. And I started crying in Starbucks. I don't think I've ever told you that. Like, just all the emotions were like coming back to me. I couldn't sleep for like a couple of nights. And it was just like, we could have done something special. And now, albeit the season wasn't over, there were still games to play. But Shamrock Rovers are so good, you can't really, once they're on the run, you can't really touch them, you know?
It is.
And that was tough for me mentally.
It is funny, actually. I thought you were going to say your hamstring injury when you had the operation. But there are different types of lows.
Yeah.
There are this, which right now I'm actually very positive. And when you have an injury, you're rehabbing, you're seeing progress. Versus when you're playing and a game doesn't go your way, that you put so much pressure on yourself, you then think, oh my, good enough.
Yeah.
Or, it's a different type of a low.
It was just because Shamrock Rovers had won the league so many times prior to that. And I'd never won a league. And I remember thinking to myself, imagine if we beat these, this will be huge. This could, I could possibly win a league title. And yeah, like I said, I went into it putting way too much pressure on myself. Ended up having a really bad game. And that was, like I said, really, really difficult to deal with. But, you live and you learn. And I learned from that moment. And it's made me become a better player, I think.
And I think I want to add to that as well. Like the Coventry game for me was just a singular day that was a low. But last season as a whole was definitely the worst season of my career. I mean, there was a season at Hungerford, like I've mentioned in my pod, but I didn't even play a competitive game. But last season, coming back from injury, obviously coming to Maidstone, being so excited to go into full-time football, playing in the National League, which is, well, everyone dreams of going to full-time football when you're in the lower leagues of non-league. And then getting relegated, and it was kind of not feeling helpless, but when I came back from injury, we were at such a dire situation. We were already, I think, 11 points off safety. And it was like, you did feel a little bit helpless. And
of course.
it was just so frustrating. And then when it was actually announced we were going down, it was just like, I don't even know how to describe the feeling. It was just,
tough.
It was really emotional.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, so next question from Benjamin Turner 7, who is the Moo DJ. Shout out Ben.
Yeah, what a guy.
Plays us some good tunes in Moo.
Very good tunes.
Kent's Hottest nightclub.
And a very loyal listener to the pod. Again, really appreciate that.
Shout out to you, Ben. He says, favourite boots of all time. That's a good question.
I know mine.
Let's hear it.
I know mine, but I don't know mine. I don't know how to explain it. I don't really know boots.
So
and
you
what
don't
they're
know
called.
yours?
Yeah.
No, I know.
It's like, it reminds me of last week.
Got them in your head.
That's my favourite saying.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
I know mine, but
That's
I
my
don't
favourite
know
saying.
mine.
Oh yeah, that's my favourite saying.
I say it all the time.
What about the Peter Crouch? No, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Crouchy play for Liverpool.
Yeah. Oh, stop. Right. Anyway, favourite boots is the I don't know how to explain it. The Adidas Predators that had the laces that you put.
The fold over tongue.
Yes, the fold over tongue.
Yeah.
What are they called though?
Well,
Predators?
that was
Adidas.
every Predator from like 1994
Predators?
to whatever.
But they were the white ones, and I'll get a picture because
The white with the gold.
No, I actually had them.
the ones with David Beckham.
Bro,
the
if I
logo.
edit that on, I've actually had them when I was at Pat's. They're the ones that had like the blue tongue. They were white, had the blue tongue, and they had like a little bit of green in it. Balak used to always wear them.
Yeah, I know the ones.
Champions League pair.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the one. Yeah, they're my favourites. Loved them growing up as a kid.
You see, mine might surprise you. So I collect boots. I love my boots. But the best boots the most comfortable boots I've ever worn are actually the boots I wear now, the Adidas Copa Pure. But I would say my favorite ones, like I have such good memories in these, would be the Mercurial Vapor 11s, the ones that came out Euro 2016. I was playing really good football in those. I bought them three times in a row. So for about 2 years, I was wearing the same boot colorway. I
Really?
absolutely love
Shout out
those.
Matt Sheldon as well.
It's like Tony Cruz.
Sheldon
that
Matt
is.
Sheldon loves those.
So I'm actually the same pair. They're my favorite ever. The Vapor 11s. When I was at Cribs, Step 5, we used to Bristol Rovers used to train at our training ground, and Rory Gaffney, who now plays in there,
Yes, yeah.
he left a pair of boots there, and they had a little crack in the sole plate. And obviously, I'm only a 17, 18-year-old lad. I was like, oh, that's some free boots. They're my size.
Yeah.
I wore them. I absolutely adored them. And then I went out and actually saved up money, and I
Really?
got another pair.
I will say as well, tournament boots are always the best boots. You know, when they release a pair of boots for a World Cup, because you just have such nostalgia watching it.
Bro, the Nike boots that were for the 2010 World Cup.
They
were so
yeah.
good. With the
silver and orange.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
They were so good.
The Euro 2012 pack, I think those are some of the best
What
boots
ones were
of all
they?
time. They were like the Nike boots, and they were all white, but they would have the Tiempos have black, the CTRs have blue, the T90s had green. Like
yeah.
unbelievable
I do remember them.
The
boots.
pink ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
They are the
were
best sort of
yeah.
drops, aren't they? 100%.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what they're cooking up for
Yeah, that's
this
true.
summer.
But I've got to say, I've been wearing Vapors for years now, and I'm actually going to change boot. We're both looking to change boots, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
We're actually
Stay tuned.
We're actually going to.
Oh, he's going to tell you now anyway.
No. Don't reveal it. Don't reveal it.
Stay tuned.
So Coxon Kicks 07 has asked us, who was your biggest influence growing up?
So I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
It'd have to be my dad. I've touched upon it in the previous episodes, but yeah, obviously, Dad played football when I was growing up in Asia, and then when I started playing football myself, he was always there to take me to my games, etc., etc. Just like a huge influence. But then again, I've got some really good memories and some like really frustrating memories. Like he's like that typical dad on the side that like be shouting and stuff like that. But he's helped me so much in my career. Obviously, I played for his academy and stuff, and he taught me so much, which has led me to obviously play where I am now. So, he's obviously got his own academy as well, where players have come through, like good players as well. So, I'd say my dad probably biggest influence.
Yeah, I would say for me, I think it would be unfair to pick one of my parents. I think they were both so good for me in different ways. First off, they never put any pressure on me, which I really, really love because everything kind of came from me. I wanted to make it so badly that I think my parents understood that. And maybe they would remind me here and there, to keep my priorities in check. But they were always so good to me. I think my mom was very much key in helping me focusing on how much I enjoyed the game. I think in the US, when you get to 15, 16, the pressures of college recruiting ends up like swallowing a lot of kids basically. And I got really lucky where my process was so easy. But even in the beginning of the process, I was putting too much pressure on myself. My mom was like, just go out and have fun.
100%.
And that's something I still hold with me each and every day. Like I remember after preseason for Maidstone, I was a bit nervous for my debut. Which was strange because I'd already played for Maidstone.
Yeah.
It was just in preseason. And it was like, how lucky are you? You're 24. You're going to go make your professional debut.
Yeah.
That's amazing. My dad, working a full-time job in New York City, coming back, taking me to trainings growing up. And, for someone who didn't play the game knows so much about it and, really helped me understand positioning. I know Gaffer and Craig might be shocked at that he did help me. I actually remember a funny story. We played... I was 12 years old, and I think we had a preseason match, and I was just running all over the place. My dad actually printed out diagrams at work and brought them home. That's was like, a central midfielder can only go from here to here. You stay within the 18-yard box, like the width of the 18-yard box. So, yeah, they were both so good for me, and yeah, I can't thank them enough.
I think similarly, have to be my parents. Like you said, I can't choose one of them. I can't pinpoint one of them that's done more for me than the other, but. Obviously, I give my mum a little bit of her own personal bit last time in my episode. But my dad has also been there for me for years. And obviously, he's moved over from Africa, and that can be quite daunting. And I've always seen that he's gone into every single situation that he's uncomfortable in, and has just gone in 2 foot. And I think that's really important that in football, you're going to be put in so many different situations that you're not used to it, and you're going into new groups. And I've played for nearly 6 different men's teams. Like that can be quite daunting going to the change room for the first time. But to see, I'm still going home to my family and to my parents after, but he's moved halfway across the country, across the world, sorry, and he attacks everything that he goes into, and I think that's some really admirable traits that hopefully I'm going to be able to even pass on to my kids. And
Coming out your comfort zone is
no,
about
of
that
course,
again.
it's so important.
You learn so much when you're out your comfort zone. That's when the most growth happens.
So this next question comes in from Harry H02, and I think it's quite fitting that that someone here did not read this question. Who makes George the angriest?
There's only one answer to that.
guesses?
I think we can answer that together.
3, 2, 1.
Football and pasta.
Yeah. Ready? Do you want to do the countdown?
3, 2, 1.
So.
Definitely me.
Yeah.
He does everyone's head in, by the way.
But I think that Gaffer, I can wind Gaffer up, and I wind everyone up, to be honest. But I think he enjoys to hate me sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Yeah, you're quite a lovable character, but you're also quite an annoying character. Yeah. Even some days, you'll be saying something to me, and I swear, I've just said something that'll end the conversation. Well, actually, I'm just like, brother,
he has to get, those annoying children when they have to get the last word in.
Yeah.
That's still so at the age of 24, 25.
Yeah.
24, 25?
24. I always have to say the last word. I have
do.
to. And
He's always right.
it's a very bad. No, but
We caught him out actually a couple of weeks. I don't know in how he was wrong. I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember because it's very rare. It's very, very rare.
You really shot yourself in the foot there.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
If you don't know why,
Bro, I was hoping he was going to back
I'm
me. He
surprised.
was there.
I'm surprised he
forgot.
got a tattoo about it, to be honest, because it's had that big of an effect in his life. That
So we'll move on to the next one. From Cam B. Who's not allowed the aux in the changing room?
I think we can answer that one together as well. In fact, we actually spoke about this yesterday when we saw the
did.
question.
Well, we'll do it out of us three. Who
Yeah,
has the
that's
worst
fair.
music? Who has the
Yeah,
worst
because
music
actually
out of us
you don't get to listen to people's music unless
No.
they're genuinely on the speaker.
All right. So all right. 3, 2, 1.
Connor.
Sam Bone. Brother, you want to hear music in English or what? This brother's
No.
gonna play straight reggaeton.
Let me listen. Let me say something.
And
Yesterday in the
who
gym.
was caught? Who was caught listening to Bad Bunny all the time?
Yeah.
I like Bad Bunny. Shout out to Miguel Ramirez. He put me on at Duke.
Well, Miguel, yesterday in the
Miguel.
gym, into my AirPods, some random Mexican music and stuff starts playing.
It's
I'm-
actually Puerto Rican.
And I was thinking, sorry, I'm not really used to this Latin American music. I was like, what the hell's going on here? He messaged me saying, disconnect from my phone immediately.
You listen
I
to
said, "Bro,
Mexican
you
music.
think I want to be listening to this rubbish?
You don't even listen to proper reggaeton. You listen to Mexican.
But to be fair,
It's
you
Puerto
can be.
Rican, bro.
And why is it? Oh, right. You just said it was.
If I'm honest,
it
I have
sounded
the
like
best music
Mexican.
taste out of us three.
Shocky.
To be honest, I
Hang on,
have like
one
agreeing with
nibble?
himself.
Second nibble.
It's-
Thank
it
you very
wasn't a
much.
nibble, though,
Hey, what do you
was
mean?
it?
It
You
was-
bit,
it was
you
just-
bit immediately.
No,
You bit
but I'm saying
immediately.
you didn't put that out there for it to be a nibble. You just actually think
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
No,
You just
I
Of
don't.
course you're
claimed
gonna
it.
think you have the best music.
I shouldn't get the last
Tell
one.
me
I shouldn't
why.
get the last
Tell me
one.
why I have the worst. Tell me why I have the worst.
I'm not going to let the last word.
No, I've seen, brother. I've seen your music. There's
Nah,
no
we have
point-
heard your
There's no point
music.
debating it.
We have
Come
heard
on,
your
mate.
music.
There's no point.
Listen,
debating.
So
I never
Morgan
got-
Wallen's good though.
What? Yeah.
Yeah,
Brother,
no,
what
I
are you
like
talking
that.
He
about?
got
I
some
like
nice
that.
country music. I'll give you that.
Do you know the issue with Boney actually is that you play the same tunes over and over and over again, so that eventually we just have to like them. Otherwise, because you just play them so much. Like what's that Correlio? What was it called?
Oh, I don't know how it's
Casanova.
pronounced.
And
Casanova.
then he, yeah,
That's a
it's the
good
same.
song.
Raul
Now
Alejandro's
we do like them.
is-
Nah, come on. I've expanded my my knowledge of music being over here as well. I love some Craig David now. Yeah, that's the boy.
No comment.
He was waiting for someone to agree with
Yeah,
him.
but
He's
it's
good.
But I say Craig David.
He was waiting.
All right. Well,
Next question,
I guess I
please.
don't
We have
like.
established that you are, in fact,
Yeah, you are the worst out of
The
us three.
worst by just that shout.
You guys are
alone.
just haters, bro. Honestly. All right.
It was a question about hating.
haters,
We have
bro.
to choose
You
somebody.
guys are just haters, bro. Let me shine. This is from Adam McKay. What other sports do you like to watch, and what sport would you play if you didn't play football?
Ooh. So I actually used to play cricket when I was growing up.
Such a boring game, isn't it?
At 10, I decided I went to go play. Everyone plays in the summer because my mum had to try and keep me busy, so I wouldn't annoy her at home. And I went to go and play, and I couldn't bowl because my arms were just so small. I couldn't throw, so I was like, you know what? I'll be a wicket keeper. And if you know a wicket keeper, and if you know what sledging is, you can just talk absolute rubbish behind the batsman to try and put them off. So that just became my job, and to be
Good
honest,
at it.
I got quite good at it.
You would
Yeah.
have wound me up, I tell you that.
Got quite good at it. I made a few kids cry back in the day.
I think that's the only position you could play in cricket as well, because you'd have to be involved 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. Because the concentration.
You can imagine Stoll staring at the clouds and the ball whizzing right past me. Oh,
No, so yeah, I used to play cricket. I also used to do hurdles when I was growing up.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So yeah, I love doing hurdling, but I probably wouldn't say that I enjoy
Sorry,
if
did you
it's
say hurdling or hurling?
hurdling.
Oh right,
yeah,
okay.
like
Yeah.
athletics.
Athletics.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say.
Sounds like you said.
Sometimes I do really enjoy watching cricket, watching the Ashes and stuff. I like watching the Olympics, but I'd say recently actually horse racing. Obviously,
Do you
with
enjoy
Cheltenham,
it? Yeah?
Cheltenham last week. I do enjoy horse racing. Have a little watch of that. Don't like to bet big amounts. Don't worry, I can't afford to do that. What about you boys?
Yeah, so I like the Olympics is obviously huge.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone jumps in the bandwagon for that. But snooker, I actually really enjoy snooker. When I was at Dundalk, I used to play it with the boys in my
Yeah,
house.
you're quite good. You carried me to
we
a
used
few wins.
to we used to go and play snooker the odd time. Tennis, love tennis. UFC, actually a big fan of the UFC. I think that's
No
what
comment.
you didn't actually.
That almost caught the wrong end of that one.
Yeah, that's why he's a
uh,
hothead.
Yeah, no, I think if there was a sport that I could go into, I think it would be UFC. I just like the idea of
Until he gets punched in the face.
being like on your like your football's different, like it's a team, but I like the idea of just like training, like it's just you. It's just
Yeah.
you going out there, you know, there's no other, you don't have to worry about, oh, is this player gonna turn up today? It's just you. It's about your mindset turning up. That's until I get punched in the face, and obviously I reckon that would probably
And then you
be,
see red, and you
No, but actually, I've got a
Sam
story.
Bone Jones.
I was going, for anyone that watches UFC, I was actually going, I think I've told you this. When I was going back to Dublin after spending a weekend in Maidstone, I was in Gatwick and I saw Jimmy Manuwa. You don't even know who that is, do you?
straight over my head.
You don't even know who that is, do you?
I have
Jimmy
no
M.
clue.
Jimmy Manuwa. You don't know who it is. But anyway, the viewers might know.
Mad
He's
Manny.
a light heavyweight fighter. He's retired now in the UFC, but he was huge. Huge,
You'd
boys.
fit in then.
And I remember doing my research. The fella's like 6'1". So it's 6'1", and I'm gonna slap you. You know that.
I don't know
gonna
how
slap you, see?
that didn't register right.
Yeah. But nah, he was huge. And to be fair, I think I saw that and I went, actually, I don't know whether UFC would be good. But all jokes aside, I think I'd go into that. Yeah.
Luckily, you can kick
Yeah,
the ball very well.
that's one of those sports that it sounds great until you actually do it.
Yeah,
and
like
the
don't-
weight cutting as well.
I've never done it, so like I just like the idea of
horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know, fighting.
So I think for me, I would love tennis. I love to play tennis. I do like to watch it, but to play tennis was definitely my second favorite. I really, really enjoyed that. I also, I've come to love golf later time. I would say at the moment, I'm far better at tennis than golf, but, definitely always trying to improve the golf game, especially when I get home this summer. I'll be playing like every day.
Now,
You've
we
been down
actually
the
haven't
range,
mentioned
actually.
golf as well.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I literally went on a golf holiday.
I'm gonna get into golf.
Yeah.
Me and a few boys, Corny, Regan, and Ben Fuller, we went on a golf holiday last year. I completely forgot about golf, to be honest.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
in the winter golf's not for me.
I
It's
don't
too
really
cold.
watch golf, but I'd love to play it. Like the thought of like just a Wednesday or something. Like
Honestly,
let's go for a
the
few
Portugal
holes and
trip.
stuff.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
I would say to watch, my two favorite American sports to watch, actually, I love to watch ice hockey live. I
Yeah.
much prefer to watch it live than on TV. As a neutral, it probably is the best sport to watch live.
Really?
Yeah, it's so exciting. The fighting's all there. It's constant action. I love to follow the New York Giants, and I watch their games, but it takes so long for one game. It's an hour of action. The ball's only in play for 12 minutes.
she's telling the Super Bowl story.
And it's only 4 hours. Yeah. I have these boys over to watch the Super Bowl. We stayed up. Game-winning drive. I'm like, oh my
that
God.
was so
No,
funny.
well, Boney went to sleep at like half time.
I couldn't hack it anymore. So
Yeah.
for the last half an hour, I
like,
went
"Should
to
we
bed,
go? Should we
but
go?"
I actually didn't fall asleep, so I could hear what the boys were saying and stuff. And I think it was go on. You tell the story.
Final drive, the Chiefs enter the red zone in overtime. They score the touchdown. I'm like, wow. Look over at Saul. He's fast asleep.
No.
I
I
wake
could
him
hear
up.
everything. Connor's going, Saul, Saul.
Oh, yeah. I thought
And
you were dead, by
nothing
the
was
way,
going
because
on.
I'm shaking him and he's not
Yeah.
waking up.
Yeah.
I'm like listening for a breath.
I literally fell asleep as the Chiefs got the ball.
Yeah, and as we're saying this as well, March Madness, which is college basketball, is coming out today. So obviously, I went to Duke, and I follow their basketball team. But really happy, NC State basketball, one of the best underdog stories in probably ACC history, have won the ACC championship, and now in March Madness they were plus 10,000 at the beginning of the tournament. Won 5 games in 5 days, all against better ranked teams.
Really?
So yeah, I think it was the worst team, like statistically, that had made the final in 20 years, and then they won.
Wow.
So against their biggest rivals as well, UNC. So
good.
that was massive. So yeah, I'm really excited to be watching that. Time difference will make it a bit tough, but I'll do my best.
There you go. Right, so this next question, this is actually from the Facebook page, and this is from Ellis Roden. He's put, if you had to let one footballer take a penalty to save your life, who are you choosing? Who are you choosing to take that penalty?
I think it's pretty easy. I mean, there are a lot of good ones. Like I always think like the best players, like I'd take Ronaldo, but I think statistically it has to be Matt Letizia. I think
Someone's done their research.
I think he took 48 penalties and he scored 47 of them, and then. So we actually talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
He scored the rebound.
I'm 90% sure he scored the rebound. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I'm pretty sure I've
So-
seen it on Premier League years or something.
Wow.
So if you're able to knock it back in as well,
That's
definitely
some
Graham.
stat. I might even
Matt
just steal
Letizia.
that then. I might actually steal that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for Graham Alexander, who used to smash him in the championship. I think he's taken over 70 penalties in his career, and he's only missed 4 or 5, I think. So I think he's taken a few more than Matt Letizia. So and a bit more recent than Matt Letizia. So potentially, I think I'm gonna go for Graham Alexander.
Yeah. When did Matt Letizia was kind of at the end of his career as we started following? I think like 2004, 2005.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Graham Alexander finished in 2012.
2012, yeah.
I think famously, I remember he said
Yeah, it was
he said something in an
2012.
interview where before the 70th minute, he'd always pick a corner to go in, and then after the 70th minute, he'd just smash it down the middle because a keeper wouldn't really stay down the middle late in the game.
I had a friend that said that as well.
Exactly. So if you
say
say he's got a 90th minute penalty and you roll it into a corner, the keeper's
always
very
diving.
rarely to stay down the middle.
Of course.
Who's yours, Boney? Is it Sol Wanjau-Smith Panenka?
Hey,
I was gonna say,
if I had to Panenka to save your life, I've only missed one Panenka in my career.
bro.
How
I
many
was
saved him?
gonna
3?
say,
5, I think.
Wow.
I was gonna say Harry Kane, but then I'm just seeing flashbacks of that one against France.
Yeah.
I know. It's so unfortunate, isn't it?
But I you know
That
what?
sounded
I
so
think
sarcastic. as
No,
well.
I'm serious. It's so unfortunate. Like, he's come up clutch time and time again. He scored one in that match.
Yeah.
And then he misses, and it's like,
But I think I'd say Matt Letizia then if that's obviously
jump on the
what you're
bandwagon,
saying.
mate.
Well, if it's to save my life, I'm not taking any risks, am I? If he's got like a
Why not yourself?
nearly 100% record, but I've missed 4 and 5.
you've missed
So,
4 and 5.
Yeah, back in Charlton though when I was younger, I actually took one off Addy. I think it was to like Addy Lookman, that is. I think he was to like score 4 goals or something. I said nah. I said give me the ball, I'm taking it.
That's like Raheem Sterling this
missed.
weekend.
I missed, yeah. It was just wanted the ground to swallow me up. But anyway, next one. This is also from the Facebook group. This is from Ben Chismon. He's actually put, who would win in a fight between George Elokobi and you three? I mean, I've just said
That's
there.
a crazy thought.
I just said there I'd love to be in the UFC.
Yeah.
However,
I'm saying
I'm-
Connor's like a younger brother. He's gonna have like 99 aggression, but like 0 strength.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the most ability to beat him up or
Yeah.
to try and
Beat him
affect
up. I don't even
No,
yeah.
not beat him up.
Affect
not beat
him.
up.
Yeah,
Affect
try
him.
and affect him.
I'm thinking realistically, right? We say we're going to go like attack him. Even though he's one man, I think he's just going to attack us. And I think he
Yeah.
would do it tactically. He would go for me first, right? Because I'd probably be the easiest to put down. I think I could. I think I could last maybe half of a punch, and then I'm done. I'm on the floor from Elokobi. He's taking you out next,
Yeah.
and just hoping Sam doesn't knock him out. I reckon.
I'm probably diving and asking for a free kick or something.
Just the thought of that is just
No, I reckon he takes
puts the fear into
takes
me.
the 3 of us. I think we need one more from our. I think we need to add Reece Greenwich in there, and I think we're fine.
That'd
Yeah.
be good.
But yeah, otherwise,
Reece,
Here you go.
bro.
What about this question? If it's a Royal Rumble on the sides of the pitch, who is the last one standing? If you go outside the pitch, it's done.
In our team,
Yeah.
He's
It's a
up
big
there.
it's a
I'll
big
tell you,
area, remember?
He's up there.
I think Reece.
You think?
I
It's
just think he's
hard.
so. I've like come shoulder to shoulder with Reece in training. He just manhandles you. He's so strong.
Who are you saying?
So strong.
I think Boney, you could be up there.
I think I'd be up there, but then
I think you get
unless
tricked.
Reece is taken out,
There'd be like some donuts or something on the side. You go, "Ooh, let me go. in."
that looks nice.
You know who I'm saying?
Oh God, I'm out.
Jeffy. Who could hit Jeffy? Bro?
Yeah, man.
Who
Jeffy's
could
so
hit
cute.
Jeffy?
Yeah.
It's got to be Jeffy.
Shout out to
Jeffy gives
Jeffy's
you the
brothers as
puppy
well.
eyes.
Shout out to Jeffy's brothers,
Yeah,
man. The
good
coldest
guys.
boys, man.
Good
I
guys.
mean, bro, like Jeffy's just such a nice guy. Like, you're not gonna hit Jeffy. Come on.
No, that's true. That's true.
So, guys, I think that wraps up our Q&A for today. Like I said earlier, we had so many questions that it would be impossible to answer them all. We'll be here for a few weeks. But firstly, thank you so much, everyone who did send in a question. If you want to see something like that again, be sure to let us know. Obviously, sorry if we don't manage to answer your question.
We'll do another one, I'm sure.
We'll definitely do another
in
one.
the future,
And-
100%. As it grows as well, there'll be more
For sure.
questions and stuff. You
And
know?
I think if you have any content ideas or stuff you want to see us do, then be sure just to let us know. You can DM the Instagram page, DM any of us personally, and we'll be sure to use some of your ideas. And if you want to see any guests on, like I said, we've already got a few plans. So
Yeah.
if there's any specifically you'd like to see,
We've been doing, obviously, I think you might have seen it on the YouTube Shorts and on TikTok. We've actually tried to expand sort of what we're doing. We've got a few videos on there, Football Imposter. We're due to obviously film some more fun stuff. So
There's some more Day in the Lives on YouTube.
yeah, Day in the
Yeah.
Lives. Yeah, in fact, Sol's actually got another one coming out. Connor's going to be doing one, which is exciting. So please go and show some love to that. And yeah, just sort of like community. Like I said to you in last week's episode, we actually enjoy it when you sort of reach out to us. Like
for
it's-
sure.
Yeah, and we read
we
absolutely
read
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
It goes
Yeah.
into the group chats. It puts a smile on our face. So any suggestions on what you want to see, let us know, and we'll be sure to do it 100%.
And we
Yeah,
just
we even read the hate that I got for being a Chelsea fan living in Fulham when
Yeah.
Chelsea play in Fulham.
Yeah. You just had to bite your tongue at that.
Yeah.
Bro. You can't be.
just thank you so much for everyone's support. Everyone's been so supportive, and yeah, everyone's just really, really helped us, and the encouragement and everything has just been awesome.
It's so cool.
So
Like
cool.
there was obviously we had a plan, we had a vision, but for it to actually come to life, it's so sick, man. And we were saying it the other day, wasn't it? When you obviously expect friends and family to show their support, but then when you start seeing randomers, like people you don't know, follow and they're commenting on the stuff, it's so cool. So
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just amazing. And like I say, keep supporting the channel.
Yeah, I've really just enjoyed this experience, and I really hope that we can continue doing them, continue putting out good content and getting good feedback. So
We're expanding as well. Look at the mugs, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Not available to buy yet, but
Not available to buy. And I actually did have people contact me about them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow.
Shout out to Chris.
Yeah, there we go. Chris, actually. Yeah, Chris. What a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah, so I think that about wraps it up. So that's episode 5, and we'll be dropping this on Sunday and then filming the following Wednesday. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
see ya.